Hi, and welcome to BG24 Public Affairs. I'm Melissa Boucher.
And I'm Gemma Schultz.
And I'm Danielle Griffith.
Tonight we're going to be joined by the head coach and select members of the BGSU cheerleading team.
That's right. They will be here with us to talk about their success this year and to show us a great performance.
We are also going to find out some fitness advice just in time for the spring.
We have a fitness instructor here to show us simple ways to get out of your winter slumps.
But before we get into tonight's topic, here's Heather Poloff with tonight's weather and news. Heather?
Thanks, ladies. Bowling Green residents met with BG's Department of Recreation last week to discuss possible uses for the former Ridge Elementary property last week. The Sentinel Tribune reports that the school building is set to be demolished this spring. Community members have submitted different ideas about how the space should be used. Some ideas include the installation of a gazebo, soccer goals, an improved basketball court, as well as a dog park. The Director of Parks and Recreation will continue to accept suggestions through March 24th. The Elmwood School District is facing a scam created by students. The Findlay Police Department reported last week that some area high school students are going door to door asking for monetary donations. The students claim that the donations will be going to a dying teacher, and some Findlay residents reported that the students are dressed as athletes. Elmwood school officials claim to know of some of the students involved but are still investigating. The University of Dayton is asking students to keep their St. Patrick's Day celebrations to a minimum this year. The Dayton Daily News reports that university officials released a letter to students asking them to uphold the university's reputation while celebrating the holiday. The University of Dayton also expressed a concern for student safety. The letter comes after an incident last year that resulted in the gathering of over 1,000 people, 11 damaged cars, and countless injuries, all over the weekend of St. Patrick's Day. And taking a look at weather now, today we saw highs reach into the mid to lower 20s under cloudy skies. For tonight, expect lows to drop down into the mid-teens with those clouds continuing through the night. We'll have a slight chance of snow showers, but expect little to no accumulations. And for tomorrow, we'll see highs reach into the mid to upper 20s with partly sunny skies. And those clear skies will continue through Friday to start off the weekend with highs in the upper 30s. For Saturday, we do see a chance for snow showers, but as of right now, we aren't expecting any accumulation from those. Highs will hover around freezing. And Sunday, we'll see partly cloudy skies with those highs remaining in the mid to low 30s. And when we return from the break, Danielle and Gemma are joined in the studio by BGSU's cheerleading team to discuss the team's recent success. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to BG24 Public Affairs. We're joined here with the head coach of the BGSU cheerleading team as well as a member, Alex. Thank you for joining us.
And you guys actually just won the national championships. Okay, tell us a little bit about the national championships. How were those? How was it like preparing for those?
Just like any other sport, they train very early. We start over the summer to prep them for the national championship. And then once we get game day ready in the fall, we go right into nationals, start training 4 days a week, and then over Christmas break, they have 2-a-days all over their Christmas break, and that leads right into the competition down in Florida in January.
Okay.
And for some of the members, what are some other activities that they engage in, like acro, gymnastics? What are some other things that you engage in to keep, prepared for the season and competitions?
Definitely throughout practices, working hard and doing the stunts and skills during practice, but also maintaining my health. I think that the workouts that we are put through and that kind of thing are a big addition and big help to when we compete.
Okay.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit about nationals. What does it look like? How many people are you competing against?
So there's teams from all over the country that go down there, and it's your opportunity to go down and really represent your school. It's a lot of fans, a lot of other schools cheering you on, as well as your own community.
Okay, and then how does weekly practices and things go for that nature? That some students definitely have to balance, inside the classroom as well as outside the classroom. How do they do it?
Absolutely. Similar to any other sport, we have structured practices and morning workouts for them, study tables as well to make sure they're making their grades. But we practice 4 days a week. We have their morning workouts in the morning, and then it's kind of difficult during the national season for them to be involved in a lot of other activities, and we highly encourage that. But as we get into the national season, we really focus in on nationals and make cheerleading and school a priority.
Good.
And as a member of the team and a student at BGSU, what is it like for you personally to juggle your time with the team and also in the classroom?
It's definitely a commitment, and it takes a lot of the time, not just for me, but also my teammates. But it's a great opportunity to stay involved on campus, to stay involved in the community, as well as, it allows me to engage with other students and other faculty and staff of Bowling Green.
Now, I hate to be cliche about this, but the movie Bring It On, we know that there's always competition. You guys are always competing. So what is the competition like when you guys get there? Is there a lot of intimidation? Like, how do you guys handle that? Like, how is it? Is it a friendly environment?
We really focus on BGSU. We set a mission statement and goals in the very beginning of the year, and we really focus on BGSU, hitting our routine. That's our first priority. From there, we don't really focus on the competition so much. For our division, there is an 8. Hofstra is typically our competition. They won 8 years in a row, and so while that's out there, we really try to focus in on making sure that we meet our goals here at BGSU.
Yeah, and again, you said that there's so many schools that compete, and you're actually going there as a team. And was it like as a team? Is it a really great bonding experience, or how do you guys go into that as a team, like team-oriented?
The team bonding here is unbelievable. Not just for nationals, but the whole program all year long. It starts in the summer when we get our new team and go to retreat and have summer events all throughout the end of the year, and it picks back up to next year. But it's awesome to have such great teammates to support you and be there. But also the friendships are amazing.
Okay, now we know that you are here in college, being a cheerleader now. After college, what do you expect to do? Do you want to continue on with the cheerleading, or do you have another professional goal?
Personally, I have other professional goals. I love cheerleading though, but I think I am more business-minded and business set to work for a company someday.
Okay, and as their coach, have you had cheerleaders in the past go on to do this sort of thing professionally, or what is that like?
We've had some previous cheerleaders go on to coach, and from there they just kind of decide. Usually they focus in on their major, but there are some coaching opportunities out there.
All right, that's awesome.
Okay, now overall, what does it feel to be a national champion?
It feels great. It still feels unreal just to think about how we met our goals and essentially lived out our mission statement. All the hard work and commitment that was put in by everyone involved, coaches, teammates, as a program, and just the community support we had behind us. It's just an amazing feeling.
Okay, thank you,
Awesome.
Adam, and thank you, Ann. Now, after the break, we will be joined with the BGSU cheerleading team, and they'll do a demonstration for us, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to BG24 Public Affairs. Tonight we have the BGSU Cheer Squad with us, and they're actually going to perform for us.
That's good, so we do have them in studio. Okay, so Ann, what does it take for them to do stunts like that? Like, what are some training like? Do they go to therapeutic training? I know ankles and joints and things of that nature are always important to keeping good.
Yes, absolutely. Our workouts are focused on cheerleading specific, and so we have trainers for them in the morning, and then also we use the athletic trainers here to keep them nice and healthy throughout the season as well. We share a trainer with the gymnastics team.
Good.
Okay, and how long normally do you spend a day practicing with them to do these sort of routines and tricks?
Sure, absolutely. We have 2-hour practices every day, and then in addition to that, when we get into 2-a-days, those are 8-hour days. So they come in, they're there for about 4 hours, we break them for lunch, and then they're another 4 hours, and that's all throughout their Christmas break. So they get 1 day off before Christmas, 1 day after Christmas, and then they're right back in the gym.
Okay, now we know that's not the whole team, just a few of them. Like, how many is consumed of your team? Like, how many cheerleaders do we have for this particular squad?
We have 30 on our co-ed team, and then 16 actually compete on the floor. So we make that decision in about September, deciding who's actually going to be on the floor to compete that year. And then we also have our all-girl team who have 20 on the floor.
And what are some things that you look for when you are selecting individuals to go to competition? We know that maybe all of them may not be able to go. What are some things, some characteristics that you do look for when picking the cheerleaders?
Sure. All of them are previous gymnasts, and so that's one big thing that we look at. We're looking at level 8, 9, 10 gymnasts to recruit. and also having some cheerleading background as well. But the cheerleading background isn't actually necessary. We're really looking for those gymnasts, more elite gymnasts to come in, and then we can teach them the stunting pretty easily.
Okay. And you said you also have an all-female team with the co-ed. So what do those teams look, how do they differ when you're going to competition in terms of performance?
Sure. The performance is pretty much very similar. The difference is we have co-ed for our co-ed team, so we have some boys out there, which allows them to do a little bit different skill level. But as far as practices, the same exact practices for our all-girl and our co-ed team.
All right. And then for game day, what are some things, some preparation that you go through? We know that the crowd is, some things that get them excited. What are some, maybe some unique things that you guys do on game day that you wouldn't do on a particular, let's say, competition day?
Right. So game day is very basic. We do basic skills so we can lead the crowd. So you're going to see a lot of things on the nationals floor that you would not see at game day. So yeah, very basic at game day, and then once we're able to use our mats, then we can increase the skill level.
All right, awesome. And they obviously, you have to change the routines up. There's a lot of different things that they do. How many routines do you prepare a season? Are there multiple, or you just kind of focus on the same one, or how does that work?
Sure. So it's one routine. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and they have one shot to prove themselves. And so that's why there's so many practices. It's not football. We don't get to prove ourselves week in and week out. It's one shot to do it down at nationals. So it's that one competition. So a lot of our practices are focused around actually performing. So they can do the routine, but can you hit it under pressure? And so we get them out there as much as possible out at community events to perform our nationals routine. We perform it at halftime during basketball games. But it's a lot of preparing to make sure that they can hit it on that one chance that they have down in Florida.
Okay, now being a national champ, we know that you guys did an excellent job, but you guys may have did some things that the judges may have, differed or did not like. How do you guys take those, critiques and actually apply them for next year?
Yeah, every year we look at our score sheets. Going into two-a-days, I think I pulled those out 3 or 4 different times from last year. Last year we were 0.7 behind first place, and so we look at that. We really look at what we can improve on from year in and year out. And so those score sheets really help us determine how we're going to move forward each year.
Okay. That's awesome, definitely helpful. And you guys went to nationals and you go there every year. So obviously you guys national champions, this is something you want to keep going. So do you think you'll change your practice or your routines to be more rigorous to try and keep up with that? Or what will that make your dynamic as a team look like in the future?
Sure, yeah, we have big shoes to fill for next year, and so we're already back in the gym. We don't reduce our practice time or our workout schedule, so as soon as we got back from Florida, we were right back at it. Yeah, back to practice, and so we're prepping skills for next season already, and we'll continue to focus on what we have always focused on, and that's having a very clean and technical routine.
All right, well, thank you so much, Ann. When we come back to BG24 Public Affairs, Melissa Belcher is going to be joined by a fitness instructor to help get us in shape for the springtime.
Stay tuned.
Let's go Falcons.
Come on, BG, let's go.
Go BG. Go BG. Go Falcons.
Welcome back to BG24 Public Affairs. As most of us know, spring is just around the corner, so everyone is rushing to get in shape. So here to join us is Jared DeHolick from the BGSU Student Recreation Center. Thanks so much for joining us, Jared.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so you're a personal trainer, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what is it that you do at the rec?
Well, I get clients that come in, and then we have a first thing that we do, we have a consultation with them. And then with the consultation is we sit down, we talk to them, we do a little bit of fitness assessments and take measurements, body fat testing, just kind of get an overview of their workout history, any like medical issues or anything like that, so we kind of get more of a background of the client.
Okay. And what do you think are some of the benefits of having a personal trainer?
Some of the benefits are definitely, especially if you're new and trying to getting into working out, definitely helping with form, just like being more knowledgeable when you're into the gym too, so you kind of understand what you're doing, so you have someone there to always kind of like walk you through, so step to step. You have that personal one-on-one guidance with a personal trainer too as well.
Okay. And are you used to seeing just one person come in and want to work with you one-on-one, or is there usually a group? Is that common for groups to come in and want to work with you as well?
Mainly it's one-on-one, but we do offer also a group at a time too. So, which is nice too, because especially so if you can bring your friends in, if you want to be working out with a friend or something, you have them with you. Or if you just want more of that personal, we do one-on-one mainly though.
Okay. And as far as prices go, does that vary based on the amount of people it is?
For groups, it's per person.
Okay.
And then for when it's just individually, it has its own single price. But it's also varies by with students, non-rec members, and staff or faculty staff. They all have their separate pricing.
Okay. And when people come in to see you, what can they expect from you?
They would expect I would be there waiting for them probably normally at the front desk, and then I'll take them back for either if they had a consultation or not yet. If not, then I normally have them come in early, warm up for a little bit, kind of just talk to them, and then we would get started with the training session after that.
And as I mentioned, spring is just around the corner. Of course, all of us girls want a bikini body, and all of us boys, well, you boys, want abs. So what do you suggest for getting in shape really quick before the nice weather hits us?
For something like a real quick fix, you gotta start getting into like physical activity and start maybe even doing a little bit of cardio, doing a little bit of resistance training and everything, just kind of even get yourself started. So, and that's the best way to do it, because even when you start getting into fitness and all that stuff, it is a lifelong process though.
Okay. And what are some of the most common myths you usually hear from people thinking as far as what workouts? Maybe they think doing a certain thing helps the area, but it really doesn't. Are there any misconceptions you find most of your clients come in and get wrong or anything?
I feel like a lot dealing with like spot training.
Okay.
Is they kind of say like, oh, I want to work specifically just this, and that's all they want to work, and that's it. But I mean, you want to keep working. You want to keep the full body, just because that kind of helps keep an equal balance with everything. So then you have an equal balance throughout, and then it helps with everyday like life functions and all that stuff too.
Okay. And as you mentioned, there is groups. So how would it work if I came in with someone? Is it more of a one-on-one interaction, as you said, if I came in by myself, or do we get to interact with the other person that comes in and we help each other work out, or how does that work?
It also depends on the client, kind of what they want. For group training sessions, you do. I normally have them interact with each other, because normally when they're coming in as a group, they want to work out together. Okay. So they kind of always want to find things where they can work out together.
Okay. All right, well, stay tuned, because when we come back, Jared will actually be demonstrating some workout moves for us. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome back to BG24 Public Affairs. Once again, I'm here with Jared Duholick from the BGSU Student Recreation Center, who is a personal trainer. So you're going to show me a few exercises, correct?
Yeah, the first thing I'm actually going to show you, which definitely would help for just overall fitness-wise, that you can even do at home. We're going to do push-ups.
Okay.
So you want to get down on the ground.
Okay. Now take it on me. I mean, take it easy on me.
I will.
Not too good at this.
So you can either do them regular push-ups, so you want to have your thumbs underneath your armpits.
Okay.
And you can either regular with your feet up.
Okay.
And you want to come straight down and then back up.
And does your chest have to touch the ground?
It doesn't have to touch the ground, but you want to get pretty close to the ground.
Okay.
So you can do it that way, or you can even do them from your knees. So when you're here on your knees, and then you're down and then back up.
Okay.
So this makes it a little easier.
Yeah, that one is much easier than the first one.
So then the first one back.
Okay.
So and then other ones that you can do is you can do body weight squats. So you're just here, keeping your core tight.
Okay.
Chest up. You're going to squat down and then back up. So you can do those for a while, and then you can actually add a jump to it. So if that's easy, you come up and jump and then back down. So that kind of even adds a little more cardiovascular to it. So you can do those. You can do lunges. So you're going to lunge out, keeping your core tight. Here, keep this at 90, You want to keep your
And
back
is your
leg.
knee touching the ground?
No, you want to keep it a little bit above the ground.
Okay. Oh, I can feel it.
And then you're going to
Okay.
step back. And you're going to do it, we're going to alternate legs. You're going to come back and stepping back.
Okay.
Step forward. We're going to do a couple more. And forward.
And what area does this target specifically?
This targets a lot of your quads and your hamstrings, as the squats that I showed you earlier kind of targets kind of the glutes too and everything.
Okay.
So that gives you some of the lower body and a little bit of the upper body with the push-ups.
Okay.
And then some other ones you could even do is you can do side lunges too, which just kind of works a little bit of the hips. So then you're going to step out and squat down, back to the center, and back to the other way.
Okay.
And you do a couple more of those.
All right. And this, you said
This kind of works a little bit of the hips.
Okay.
So this can work the inside of the hips and the outside of your hips.
And what about for the stomach? That's my
For the stomach?
area of problem.
Okay. This is when you want to get down.
Okay.
And then you can just do a little leg lift. So this leg can stay down.
Okay.
Keep your right leg straight. And just straight up. This targets a little bit more your lower abs.
Oh gosh.
You
Okay.
can do 5 of those. You just kick it up and you just bring it up to the knee. You do one more. And we're going to switch.
Oh gosh, I can feel it.
And then up 5 times. 3.
And do you usually work out with the clients?
I don't really work out with the clients. It's more just explaining it to them. So I explain to them, I show them the form, and then I kind of have them do it themselves.
Okay. All right. And what else for the stomach?
Else, for the oblique side, so then you could be on your side here. So your feet are kind of kicked back.
Okay.
You could have your hand on your head, your off hand on your stomach, and then you're going to crunch up and then back down. So then you could do that a couple times. So this will get your right side, and then you can switch over and do the same thing on the other side. And then you're up. You want to make sure you squeeze and control on your way down. So that's the main thing. You want to get that squeeze up top and controlling on the way down.
Okay. And what about jumping jacks? Do you usually have your clients do those too?
I don't always have them do jumping jacks, but it's a great thing to do, especially if you want to put a little cardio.
Okay.
So a little modification, especially if it's jumping jacks are even hard for you sometimes. For not everyone it is, but you can alternate the foot and then feet coming up.
Okay.
So those are just a modification for a jumping jack, and then you have your regular jumping jacks where you're in and out. And then finally, for something that if you want something more advanced, you can do like a full jump and a jack. And you're here.
I don't know if I can jump that high.
And then you're going to do those for a couple times. So
Okay.
So that's also they can help you bring in some cardiovascular.
And that gets the heart rate up.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yep. No problem.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to Gemma and Danielle, and they're going to tell you what's in store for next week's show.
That was a good show. I can't believe that Melissa really did that. I've probably been out of
know.
breath.
Props to her for working out on set for sure.
Definitely get ready for the springtime. I'll take some of those tips home just to do.
It was perfect. And we got to hear from the BGSU cheerleaders, and they just won national championships, so that was definitely fun.
Okay, well, we do want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Make sure that you guys tune in Friday at 5:30 for our normal news show. And we do want to thank you. Enjoy it and have a good night.